So I lost the footage of me explaining what happened, but basically I was driving Eve to school on the motorbike and I was going to pass someone in the bike lane, and I could be paranoid, but what I truly think what happened was he saw me coming in his mirror, and you know, I was beeping. You beep when you want to pass someone or try to tell them that you're there, so I beeped. And so he saw me through the mirror, his mirror, and maybe I think that he saw that I was a foreigner because of my blonde hair, and he didn't see Eve in the back because, you know, I was blocking her. And so he turned into me, and so I went to the railing, and in between him I was sandwiched. And luckily I've ridden a scooter before, so I know how to stop or slow down or do all the precautions. And so I was able to, when he hit me, I was able to go to the side and like immediately get off. I looked behind me, Eve was on the ground. That scared the crap out of me. I thought, oh my gosh, did she get ran over? Did she hit her head? What happened? I went over to her, she was crying, but I looked all around, she was no blood, no anything. She did have a scratch on her knee, and I pulled up her pants, and it was just like a bump. So she probably scared her a lot more than anything actually hurt. So I'm like, okay, she's good. I look over at the other driver that hit me, and he was laying on the ground, and his scooter was on top of him. And then, you know, he pushed it off and he looked at me again, I think to make sure I was a foreigner, and then he immediately fell down, grabbed his ankle, he's like, and I'm like, oh my god, okay. So I try to go over to him, but then he starts like yelling at me, I don't know what he's saying. Then a crowd began to form, and they're all just looking at him, and then one guy, I think he was defending me, because the guy was, you know, yelling at me, and so this other guy that was just watching, he was like, oh, well, I think what they were saying was that he's like, oh, come on, you know, no one's hurt, you're okay, we could tell you're okay, we could tell you're faking, you know, she was probably in the wrong, whatever, but she's a foreigner, everyone's okay, let it go. And then the guy that was on the ground, he flipped out, went over to the other guy and started pushing him and stuff. And so I'm just like standing there the whole time just holding Eve. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And so they started getting in a little fight and kept pushing each other, and people were trying to pull them apart. Then finally a police officer came by, he looked at us, and then I think he was, I don't know, he was just like a passerby police officer. So then he called another one, and then he came over and, you know, assessed everything. And of course, you know, it's my fault because I was behind him. Okay, but yeah, so then the police officer came over to me, he's like, I think your fault. I'm like, okay, what can I do? I can't argue, I don't know Chinese. I'm like, okay. At least no one was actually hurt. So then the guy, you know, the whole time this guy was just like holding onto his ankle, just like rocking back and forth. And then the police officer said, let me see your ankle. And he's like, no. And he's like, let me see your ankle. And so he pulled up his pants, and there was just like the littlest scratch. And so he was totally fine as well. So I called Lily, and the guy wanted to talk to Lily, so I gave the phone to him, and then Lily came over, and the officer's like, I think what he said is just like, you know, it's okay if you just pay him a little bit, then we won't press charges or anything. So Lily paid the guy 300 kwai, and, you know, I offered to pay, and she's like, no, it's fine. We went over and took Eve to the hospital to get her checked up, and she was totally fine. So then I rode my scooter back, and Eve doesn't go to Eve doesn't have to go to school until the end of the week, or the start of the week, Monday. You know, I was apologizing to the whole family because Jack came over, the dad, and they're like, it's okay, this happens all the time, it's okay, don't worry about it. I'm like, that's not really reassuring. So, but that's what happened. Okay, so it's been the next day since all that happened. Everyone's fine. Eve is in her room. Eve, say hi. Hi. She's fine. She had to take the day off from school because of her knee, but it's totally fine, but just precaution, and she's happy because she doesn't have to go to school. So we didn't really have any food in the house, so I ordered, well, okay, I didn't order. I asked Lily to order us some food, and so she got us some dumpling soup, comes in a little bag, and then some dumplings, which I just had them this morning. The dad, since we don't really have any food, the dad ran over and got some dumplings and brought them to me. So I'm having a lot of dumplings today. And then it's cute, they come with a little bag of soy sauce and chopsticks. And what's weird here is that the milk comes in a bag. I didn't order the milk, we bought it at the supermarket, but yeah, so it's just a bag of milk. Tell me how to eat it. Wait, what's it called? What's it called? What is it?
Danja.
Danja. Danja. And you chew it, and then you spit it out.
This is a ganja.
Ganja. Is it very beautiful?
This is very yummy.
Very yummy, yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy. I don't know what's going on, you guys, but why are there so many dogs here? I was just walking around and I found all of these dogs, and now they won't stop following me. They won't leave me alone. I don't know why. I just it's so cute, but I hope there's someone's, because just walking around the streets as well, there are just a lot of stray dogs, or just dogs that aren't on leashes, so I don't know what's going on. I think they stopped following me. Well, let's not forget about cats too. There are a couple cats in there as well. Welcome to Jill's Chinese cooking channel. So today I'm going to make some zongzi, which is like a Chinese onigiri kind of. So it's just rice that has stuffing in it, covered in a bamboo shoot, or a bamboo leaf, I mean, and then you just steam it for about 15 minutes. So I finished, and it is zongzi. No, that's okay. And then here's Eve. She's watching a movie. What movie is this?
魔法俏佳人。
魔法俏佳人. Okay. Let's see how this tastes. Oh, so sticky. Kind of sweet. Tastes good though. So I'm at the hospital waiting in line to register Eve for this whole thing, and look at this line, you guys. I guess that's what you get in a third world communist country. But yeah, crazy. So after that, we went over to a salon because the girls wanted to get their hair done, and Lily offered to pay for a facial for me, which I of course took. It was kind of weird not being able to talk to the lady, but it was nice. And then afterwards we went out to dinner and we had a hot pot, which first you get all the selection of sauces, ingredients that you want to put in, and then the table has a 2 selection thing of hot and mild, of just oils and spices, and you dip vegetables and meat into it. And here we have bacon. I haven't had bacon in years, but I had bacon this time because I wanted to try it. And you just dip it in there, wait for it to cook, and you eat it. And here is shrimp that you squeeze out and it makes a noodle. And you just eat it like that. Wait till it's cooked and you just eat the shrimp noodle. Very interesting. And after we finished everything and covered my beautiful facial done face with grease, we went out and just walked.
就是第一次当你的老爸，我们的心情都有点复杂。你拼命发芽，我band了头发，你才写下一撇一捺。